Please help me welcome and congratulate Paul English.
Good evening, everyone. It's an incredible honor to be here tonight. I have been aware of this program now for some years, and so it's pretty special to be a part of it. I know that everyone in the room here tonight has their own nonprofits that they work with, and sometimes when we think about the causes that we each believe in, the problems we're trying to solve can seem overwhelming. I know that as someone who grew up in Boston, issues around race and racism have always been of interest to me. I went to Boston Public Schools my whole life, Boston Latin for high school, went to UMass Boston for college, and sometimes the problems, like the problems of race in Boston, seem overwhelming. For those of us who read the Global Spotlight series that came out a year ago, they pointed out a number of issues that we still need to do a lot of work and make a lot of progress on. And what I've done with each of my nonprofit projects, I'm on 6 nonprofit boards right now, is rather than trying to take on the responsibility of completely fixing a problem that might seem daunting, at least knowing that you can do something to chip away at that problem and you can make progress on every day, and that you can get better at year to year in terms of what each of our contributions are to the nonprofits that are important to us. And so King Boston really started based on just, again, me thinking about race in Boston and me realizing that Coretta and Martin met as young students in Boston. Coretta was a student at the New England Conservatory of Music, and they began their lives together here in our city, and they lived in the South End and both studied here. And I thought that we needed to do something in the city to commemorate their time together and really the beginning of their professional lives together, and the two of them and the partnership they had around social justice and the nonviolent movement. So the program started out for King Boston to build a memorial, and we ended up through a long process. We had 14 open community meetings. We ended up choosing a site on the Boston Common as a location. We put out a call to artists. We had 126 teams from around the world apply to be considered as designers. And ultimately, the final design was chosen last fall, which we announced. That memorial is scheduled to be built sometime in the next 12 months. It will be completed on the Boston Common. And hopefully the memorial will do 2 things. One, it will cause people to commemorate the time that Martin and Coretta spent in our city, and the importance of Boston has been to each of them. But then 2, and probably more important, to think about if Martin and Coretta were alive today, living in Boston at age 90 or so, what would they be working on? And what should we be working on? And I'm hoping that the memorial will spark discussion about the responsibility each one of us has for making Boston a better city for all the residents of Boston. We expanded the project to do more than just build a memorial. We also have a documentary coming out, which is the first film that will be about their time together in Boston. And we're now beginning plans for something that we're calling the King Center for Economic Justice, which is a program it'll be housed probably in Dudley Square in Roxbury. And we were going to work with other groups focused on bringing higher paid jobs into Dorchester and Roxbury and other areas of the city.